Hello, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adults who are healing CPTSD. My name's Athena, and we've all been gathering here on YouTube about once a week or so for over 9 years. It's been a while, and it's been such a beautiful journey. This YouTube channel is sponsored by the Foundation for Post-Traumatic Healing and Complex Trauma Research. And pardon my voice this week, by the way, guys. Thank you so much for being here. So what we've been doing over the last year or more is on Monday nights we've been going through and doing a meditation and affirmation. And then this year we have woven in a healing strategy, and then also we've been doing some breath work. So over the years, things have sort of morphed from being more of Q&A to a place where we come to co-regulate, check in with one another, and mostly just regulate our nervous system. We find pockets of calm and create pockets of safety in our lives, and we share on this channel what's been working for us in our healing journey and what hasn't been working for us. So I warmly welcome you if this is your very first time hearing my voice. If you've clicked on this video and you're watching it on a replay, my deepest hope is that something that we discuss here tonight will be helpful and supportive for you in your unique healing journey. Each of our journeys is unique. There are 7 billion different ways to heal, and your journey is different than mine, and his is different than hers, and theirs is different than all of ours. And it is a privilege and an honor to heal right beside you. I enjoy being here with our community. Many of us consider one another to be family, or as we say, family. Hello, Kate. Kate says hello, and to Athena and the rest of my family. Hello to you, Kate. It is so good to see you as always. Hello to you, Jeffrey Sherman. I'm weaving right back and sending you smiles and love. Hello, Ninja Taco. So good to see you, recovery buddy. Oh, so good to be here with you. And hello and a warm welcome to anyone else who's here and perhaps not in the chat box. I see you, I honor you, and I'm sending you so much compassion and healing. So as we get started tonight, before we do our meditation will be with Morgan Harper Nichols. Her artwork is what you see up on the screen. Our affirmation will be with Lisa A. Romano, and our healing strategy will be with Dr. Ariel Schwartz. We're going to do some breath work, and thank you again for being here. If this video ends up being something that you find helpful and supportive, it would mean so much to me if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel as well, those are 2 of the biggest ways you can support the healing of complex trauma and raising awareness about complex trauma. And it only takes you just a moment. If you find the video to be helpful and you like the video, and if you decide to subscribe to the channel, it shows YouTube and all of the algorithms and such that we are doing work that matters and that we're providing some sort of value. So this weekly live stream has been a safe place for survivors of repeated relational trauma to come every single week and check in with one another, like I said, for over 9 years. So thank you once again for being here. If you'd like to follow along and do some breath work, we're gonna breathe in for 4 counts, we're gonna hold for 4 counts, and we're going to breathe out for 4 counts, and we're gonna do that 4 times. If you'd like to extend your exhale, it will help to activate your parasympathetic nervous system which is also known as our rest and digest system. And it sort of counteracts the fight-flight response. So it helps us to feel a sense of calm and peace and ease. And if at any time holding your breath begins to give you any anxiety, or if any of the breath work is something you don't find helpful, please just skip it. Do something that you do find helpful. You are here for you and you alone, and I'm so glad that you've chosen to be here. Here we go. We're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, and we're going to exhale for 4. You can begin to inhale with me in 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. And breathe out. 2, 3, 4. If you feel yourself start to yawn, this is a good sign. I'm going to go ahead and take a few more breaths. How are you feeling? I hope this is something you're finding helpful. I love doing breath work with you all. We'll begin with our meditation with Morgan Harper Nichols. And again, if you would like access to the resource, Morgan sends out a free email every single week on Sundays. You can go to her website at The Storyteller Co., thestoryteller.co, and I really just enjoy her work so much. It's been a huge blessing. Oh, yay, Kate. Kate says I yawned. First time. Oh, that's such a good sign. It can also be interpreted by our brain as a sign of safety as well. Because think about it, if we were being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, the last thing we would do is yawn. Here we go. Morgan says, of all the things that have changed in your life, let this be the space where you take time to remember any good things that have remained constant. Let this be the space where you feel the ground beneath your feet more than ever before. Let this be the space where you give yourself permission to hold in your memory any beautiful parts of your story that make you who you are. For all that is out of your control, let us pay closer attention to the seeds we can water. Let us pay closer attention to what we can make grow. May the space between where you are now and where you want to be filled with as many moments to breathe as you need. And when you take pride in the small good things you do, I hope they come echoing back to you. Let this be your life, where you start to see the good that surrounds you. And even more so, let it be a space where you are reminded that good things don't stop with you. As sure as you feel the wind blowing around you, and as sure as you feel the ground beneath your feet, goodness is all around you. Hello, warm welcome, John Harvey. So good to see you as always. Hello, Angela. So happy to see you as always. Thank you all so much for being here. We've just done some breath work, and we just finished our meditation with Morgan Harper Nichols. And we are moving on to our affirmation with Lisa A. Romano. Lisa has a free app in the App Store called Loving the Self Affirmations. And she also has a few books titled Loving the Self Affirmation. 2 of them are already printed, I believe, and there is a third one that is going to be published. Excuse me. A third one that is going to be published, I think, in the next couple months. So this is from her Loving the Self Affirmations. Again, it's by Lisa A. Romano. And this affirmation reads, I know that in the past I have made relationships with others more important than my relationship with my own self. Today, I will remember to make me a priority. I will mother and nurture my own self today with loving, positive self-talk. I am good. I am enough. I am capable. I am courageous. I am divine. Today, I love and accept myself unconditionally. I love how Lisa is always so great about acknowledging how sometimes we can fall into patterns of making relationships with others more important than the relationship we have with our own self. And I also love that she gives us a framework for loving, positive self-talk. I am good enough, capable, courageous, and divine. Today I love and accept myself unconditional. What a gift. I'm so grateful. Hello, warm welcome to you, Midnight Blue. I don't think I've ever met you. Am I meeting you for the very first time? I want to warmly welcome you to our community. We're so glad to have you here with us. Hello, Nadine. I didn't say hello to you. So good to see you as always. Yes, I am enough. Oh, Angela says, I'm doing well. I hope my mood improves. It's a little low. Oh, I see you. I'm offering you so much compassion. And I hope so too. John Harvey says, I hope it does improve. And I have been there myself a few times. Just be gentle with yourself and remind yourself it will pass in time. Yes, I agree. There's, I think it's a Buddhist term called anicca. 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 Depending on who you're listening to. It's the law of impermanence. It means that no matter what it is that we are feeling or experiencing, it's impermanent. It's not permanent. It will come and it will go. And nothing is ours to hold on to, not even our breath. So in Buddhist culture, they'll often talk about breath work in breathing in and then holding our breath. And yet there is this letting go and this emphasis on how not even our own breath is something that is ours to hold on to. At some moment, we must let go of it and release it. Hello, Jennifer. So good to see you as always. Angela says, thank you, John. I appreciate it. Sometimes I feel guilty for having low moods. Oh, Angela. That is what my therapist would call unearned guilt. There is nothing in the world that you need to feel guilty about if your mood isn't what you would like it to be. That guilt is unearned. It's not even yours to keep. I hope that you are able to release it. Feelings will come and feelings will go. It's okay. John Harvey says, don't feel guilty for feeling your feels because you have the right to it. Exactly. Yes. Yes, Kate. Unearned guilt. Yeah. So we are going to move on now to our healing strategy with Dr. Ariel Schwartz. So Dr. Ariel is, she is a colleague and just an incredible author, trauma-informed yoga teacher, just a wonderful human. And this is from the healing strategy that we are going to be reading from tonight, and what we have been the past few months. It's from her book titled A Practical Guide to Complex PTSD, Compassionate Strategies to Begin Healing from Childhood Trauma. This healing strategy is called restorative breath. And the area of our healing journey leading up to restorative breath is Dr. Ariel is talking about, she's helping us to have a better understanding of invasive and intrusive symptoms as it pertains to complex PTSD. So we're talking all about healing invasive and intrusive symptoms, and the way that invasive and intrusive symptoms can present themselves and show up in our lives is we will know if we are perhaps experiencing them if we have feelings of unsafety. It's difficult for us to feel safe. So Ariel says, if you are here as a survivor of childhood trauma, then it is likely you have experienced hypervigilance, feelings of panic, nightmares, or a general sense of anxiety. You may have felt or continue to feel triggered by certain events. You might have flashbacks in which you experience a rush of images, emotions, or bodily sensations connected to the trauma. These kinds of re-experiencing symptoms often disrupt the lives of trauma survivors and can last for hours or even days. In this chapter, we will explore these invasive and intrusive symptoms, and more importantly, present coping strategies that can help you feel grounded. So we're going to read a brief little excerpt from someone named Sierra. Sierra's story represents a common experience among CPTSD survivors, invasive and intrusive symptoms that arise after a recent traumatic event. Sierra says, I have a difficult time going to sleep at night. That is when I feel overwhelmed by all the scary feelings. I get easily startled by sounds, and then my heart starts to race. It is so hard for me to relax. Ariel says, Sierra was exhausted. She had been having a difficult time sleeping for several months after she had been in a car accident. And even though she took sleep medication, her anxious feelings kept coming back. As I got to know Sierra, I learned that she had always identified as a tough girl, someone who could handle anything. She told me that when she was little, her mother would rage and scream at her. She learned to hide her fear and pretend that she didn't care. But ever since the car accident, she felt shaken and fragile. When we began to explore the feeling of being scared, Sierra shared that it reminded her of how she had felt as a young girl. This accident brought those feelings to the surface. Initially, therapy helped Sierra recognize that she was having flashbacks, a common symptom of CPTSD. We helped her strengthen her resources so she could remind herself that she was safe now, even though she was having scary feelings. She learned breathing and relaxation techniques to help with her sleep. Then we focused on building self-compassion for the vulnerable feelings that were held inside the tough girl for so many years. As a result of these practices, she was relieved to share, "I am finally able to feel safe. Now I can settle my anxiety." Sierra's story represents a common experience among CPTSD survivors. Invasive and intrusive symptoms that arise after a recent traumatic event. Sometimes the recent event is as extreme as a car accident, like Sierra's. And other times, the triggering event can be more subtle. For example, an expression on someone's face or a certain tone of voice might bring fear, anger, or a feeling of rejection. The triggering event can lead to a flashback, a resurgence of images, emotions, or bodily sensations related to a traumatic event from the past in which you feel as if that event is happening now. Like Sierra's experience, these symptoms can flood you with anxiety, making it difficult to relax or sleep. Those re-experiencing symptoms are often associated with high arousal states such as anxiety, panic, and hypervigilance. The word invasive refers to the way these symptoms invade our consciousness, and the word intrusive refers to the way these symptoms intrude upon your ability to feel safe and relaxed. You may experience the distress physically with a rapid heart rate, tightness in your chest, difficulty breathing, or challenges with your digestion. Anxiety can lead you to become highly sensitive to other people's body language, facial expressions, and voice tone. All these symptoms are related to the sympathetic nervous system, which prepares you to fight or flee a dangerous situation. Flashbacks can also be connected to low arousal feelings, which can cause you to feel ashamed, small, powerless, or helpless. In some cases, flashbacks are connected to memories that happened when you were too young to form images or verbal memories. Or your brain may be trying to protect you from traumatic memories with dissociative symptoms. In these cases, you might feel flooded by emotions or sensations with no known cause, but you might be acutely aware that you are having a flashback. Unfortunately, those of us with complex PTSD have a difficult time feeling safe, even in situations where there is no current threat. And this is because it can be difficult to differentiate between experiences that occurred in the past and what is happening now. You might believe that people or places are dangerous when you are actually safe. It is common to scan your environment and the faces of people around you for any signs of threat. This can become a negativity bias that leads you to ignore signs of safety. Invasive symptoms evoke emotions and body states that are neurobiologically connected to memories of other times when you felt the same way. This is called state-dependent memory. And it explains why when you feel sad, you're more likely to remember other times that you were sad. Memories are stored in the brain, interconnected with other similar memories. Therefore, when you feel triggered into a state of panic, you are more likely to go down a rabbit hole full of interconnected traumatic memories related to times when you felt frightened. Excuse me. Dr. Daniel Goleman, author of the book Emotional Intelligence, explains that flashbacks cause the brain to become emotionally hijacked by strong emotions such as fear or anger. When we feel safe, we are able to rely upon the most recently evolved part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. This part of the brain helps us to reflect upon our actions and make wise decisions based on our goals for the future. However, when threatened, the midbrain and the lower brain become activated and they reduce blood flow to the prefrontal cortex. The midbrain is also called the limbic system, and it's highly sensitized to danger. The lower brain is also called the reptilian brain, and it activates our most primitive self-protective defenses. So when we experience an actual or perceived threat, we tend to react defensively without thinking about the consequences. Intrusive symptoms can arise as a result of a wide range of triggers, events, or situations that can bring back memories of a trauma. A trigger can be anything that causes you to remember uncomfortable feelings from the past, such as making a phone call to a family member, returning to your childhood home, watching a scene in a movie, reading an article in the news, or smelling a certain soap, perfume, or cologne that was worn by an abuser. Other common triggers might be experiencing a conflict with a partner or child, or making a common mistake such as forgetting someone's name or getting a parking ticket. Instead of being able to brush off this normal human misstep, you might feel excessively critical and punitive toward yourself. When we experience a threat, whether it's real or perceived, our breathing changes, usually subconsciously. Your breathing might become more shallow or rapid when you see a person who has hurt you, for example. This happens because our bodies want to prepare us to fight or flee. Our bodies think we are being threatened. Animals experience this response too, but once they are safe, an animal will release the stress by shaking, moving, or breathing deeply. However, we humans often stay in high arousal states long after the threat has passed. This is because we have highly developed brains that have evolved to process our experiences with language and thought. Many of us have been taught that sitting still is a sign of polite obedience. So we've learned to suppress our instinctual connection to sensation and movement. One way we can restore balance to the body and mind is to focus on rebalancing the autonomic nervous system. We can do this by stimulating the vagus nerve, which can be thought of as a bidirectional information highway that communicates perceptions of safety or threat between your brain and body. This stimulation can help us access the restorative and healing qualities of the parasympathetic nervous system. One of the fastest ways to balance your nervous system is with the breath. As we explore this, let's take some breaths together. So our healing strategy is restorative breath. Ariel says, every time you breathe in, you engage your sympathetic nervous system, while each exhale engages your parasympathetic nervous system. You can turn on your body's relaxation response by exhaling longer than you inhale. To experiment, explore inhaling to a count of 4 and exhaling to a count of 8 while silently counting in your head. Let's do it together. Ready? Let's inhale for 4 and then we'll exhale for 8. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you'd like to experiment with a variation of this relaxation breath, you can explore what is called a 4-7-8 breath by holding your breath for a count of 7 between your inhalation and exhalation. And remember, if at any point you notice that holding your breath creates a feeling of anxiety or panic, reduce the length of time you hold your breath or drop the hold altogether. Most importantly, this is an experiment. It's wise to take your time and just notice the feedback you receive from your body and mind. And remember, the healing strategies that we talk about here on this channel, none of them are one size fits all. You can fine-tune them and adapt these practices until you find reliable strategies that work for you. So what do you think, you guys? How did you feel about the breath work and learning about the healing strategies, the differences between the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system, and about activating the vagus nerve by it helps our autonomic nervous system. And then I love how Ariel talked about the prefrontal cortex, which is where we're able to make sense of things. And then the midbrain, also called the limbic system, is where we have these really highly emotional states that we get sort of locked in. And then our reptilian brain is our primal instinct to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So I love learning about all of this stuff with you. And I just want to check in. Hello, warm welcome to you. This is your first time here. We're so glad you're here. I don't see your name, so I will call you Green. It is great to have you here, Green, because your avatar is green on my end. Hello, Miss Peach Boxer. Long time no see. So good to see you as always. Oh, thank you all so much for being here. It's always such a joy to spend time with you. I want to warmly welcome those who are listening to this on a replay. I hope that something we shared tonight, whether it was the breath work, the meditation, the affirmation, or the healing strategy, I hope something was helpful and supportive for you in your unique healing journey. We are all here on Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern, and as I said earlier, we've all been gathering here together about once a week for over 9 years, and it is such an honor and a joy to heal right beside you. I'll see you next week, or I'll see you over in our healing community off of social media. There's a link in the chat box, there's a link in the pinned comment, and there's also a link in the description section below this video. It's an app called Circle, and there are several hundred of us over there, and we're there every single day. And then we also have daily recovery support calls 2 times a day, every day. Very similar to this, on different topics related to healing CPTSD. So thank you so much for being here. It's such an honor and a joy to heal beside you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. In the meantime, please be extra kind and extra patient and extra gentle with yourself, because you're worth it. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday or over on Circle. Good night, everyone.